Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well today. I know I'm early, like normal. I'm sitting here and can't figure out what to do, so why not go live and then do stuff afterwards? So, we are here to read Snow White Ashes. I played a game. What was it? It wasn't too long ago where I found a game on Steam called It Paints Me, and this is from the same developer. They're fairly new. I think this is a demo of their newest project, and they only have It Paints Me up. So they're really good. I like their storytelling. So this is a good hour to 2 hour depending on reading speed, and I would try to maintain a good speed. When I read out loud, it's not very good, but I truly enjoy reading stories. So especially these one are always written well and always have a nice twist to them. So the twist is what gets me. So yeah, I think without any further ado, let's get into it. There are I think there's nudity and maybe sexual content in this. We'll find out. Oh, hello. Another uh toxic relationship. Okay. Okay. Okay, so not explicit, which is good. Okay. This stuff is fine, but the sexual stuff, yeah, I don't want that. So hopefully it's all good. Toxic relationship is fine. That's what we do. Not all branches are available in the current demo. Tracer with the lock symbol cannot be selected. Okay. Now that you are prepared, now are you prepared for the tale? Yes. Oh, I love it. So this is so as it tells there's multiple ending, but for the demo there's only one ending. That's in the uh three unlockable like bonus scenes, but if it takes way too long, but I think you have the ability to skip. So we'll just see what happened at the end if we can go back and do stuff. So alright, let's begin. I'm excited. Snow White Ashes. I walked the ashen wood alone. Frozen earth crunches, crinkled and cracked beneath my feet. Fat, blurry snowflakes fly by, aglow with the moon bright light. I could never truly be lost, nor a night like this. Not on a night like this, when she shines so round and full, gazing down from the winter sky above. Very nice. Still, I'd best look at where I am. I'd best look like I am. I mutter, I matter. Through ashen trails beyond, between branches, silver gray. What the fuck? Girth, striped with dark around the trunks and pines of that branch that breached the sky, brought buried with snow. I walk between the shadows, slipping through the pool of light and dark, as if I have somewhere to be, but no knowledge of the path, what the path, what the path may take me to it. All the while, I wrap myself in my cape of red wool, pulling its rough, spun fabric and fine needlework tight about my shoulders. My hand rests inside the thick sheep sheepskin gloves. Even with the snow and the mountain air in my face, the thrill of the hunt keeps the bite of the cold at bay. The thrill of the hunt, okay? My heart beats with an unfamiliar feeling, a pounding, jittering rhythm. I shiver with excitement. I hope whatever's out there mistake is for fear. Mistaken for fear. I sink my hand deep into my pocket of my skirt, running my gloved hand along the edges of the deadly sharpened point I carry. In a strange way, it felt more like a tome than a weapon. I suppose I seek no ordinary prey. I almost smile, like my quarry. How strange to think that I may too hide my fangs. So I wander on, trembling like a newborn lamb. I wonder how the beast might appear. Would it call out to me in a voice nectar sweet, promising shelter? Ooh. Would it lure me into the mountain lair, whispering honey words, as if to lead me to a place where no scream can echo? Would it stalk me patiently, waiting for the moment I collapse, cold, exhausted in the snow? As I wander and wonder, I find myself growing impatient. The cause of my shaking turned from thrill to frost. When would it appear? Would it appear? Am I not imagining the perfect prey? I'm running out of time. No, such vexations are a luxury I cannot indulge. I cannot rush this. I need my mind clear. Surely there is some way to draw its attention to me until it can no longer look away. I feel in my pockets a small sharp knife I used to whittle my weapon to a deadly point. What a simpler way to entrance a beast than iron freshly drawn. Iron freshly drawn. But did I need to go so far? Perhaps it would not the flesh it was hungry for. Perhaps I simply need to call out to it. Ooh, draw your blood or sing. I mean, for any hungry beast, especially in the wilderness, it would be drawn to blood. But I like the singing because it gives that hint of it's no ordinary beast that we're hunting. It's drawn by something else other than just plain, like bloodlust. So let's sing. So call to it I do. I close my eyes and take a deep breath and then raise my voice to song. An unfamiliar tongue savored each word of the well-worn tune. This Miss Queen are wrapped in fog. How softly does she go, with a silver veil around her head that shine like fallen snow. I shivered now to look at her, in moonshine like aglow. But before I continued the second verse, a sudden sound echoed in the distance. I turn. No longer do I hear the wind through the trees, the hooting of an owl, nor the squirting of a squirrel. It is as if the world had gone completely silent and still, save for a pair of carefully approaching footsteps. It is seconds longer before I see a pinprick of light in the distance, a blur of white like the snow swirling around me. Gradually it comes closer, blinking, flickering, bright. All the while I stay still, so still, like my heart had forgot to beat. Closer it draws, closer still, until finally I make out its face, framed in white, locks, locked eye with him. I can't move nor turn away. I can't even breathe. The eyes stare back at me with so deep a green. Are you lost? He says, and like a spell broken, I shake out of my daze. The wind and sound of the night roar into my ears. His voice cuts through it all, clear as a bell. Are you cold? The figure wears the skin of a man. A skin of impossibly fair. It reminds me of the broken statue of an angel I once saw in the ruined castle. The surface of marble, paler cold as ice, when I brushed it with my fingertips. How flawlessly smooth, how otherworldly, that lonely thing left behind that place of broken granite and brittle stone. I wonder if the being before me is as cold to the touch. He dresses from head to toe in white, shrouded in white, from his fine wool coat to a fur-trimmed cape and soft leather gloves. Even his hair cascade of gentle curls that frame his face shines silver, a radiant halo lit from the glow of the lantern he carried in his hand. The other he extends to me. Are you lost? He asked again. I won't hurt you. You'll be safe, I promise. The sound of his voice makes all the worry in the world melt away. It is so musical, so warm and calming, like liquid honey. It takes all my will not to take his hand and offer all at once. Who are you? I am not lost. Let's go straight for it. Who are you? Why are you in the forest? Well, who are you? I asked. Simply a traveler passing through, she says, with the finest hint of a smile, soft, gentle, and unthreatening. If I were naive, I would have taken the answer without question at all. But I am not. Here, alone in the void at night? I could ask you the same question. I could ask you the same, damsel. Why ever did you wander here? I was searching for something. Whatever it might be, you've come far. The nearest village is hours away. Have you a place to shelter for the night? No, I say as I quiver, as I fill my voice with the trembling of a lost, vulnerable thing. Lead me away, you have nothing to fear and everything to gain. Please, come with me. I'm soldiering? No, I know that word, I'm not sure how to say it. Not far from here. You can share my fire and stay the night in safety. I suppose I can't refuse the kind offer, I reply, letting relief wash over my words. Show me your true face, show me your fangs. Then please, good sir, lead the way. With my free hand, he offered me his arm. I hesitate. Such closeness would unveil me to my weapon, but just so easily put me at his mercy. How quickly could he strike back? With what strength could he stop me if I failed? Take it down, bro. I can walk just fine. Let's stand strong. I can walk just fine, I stammer. I do wish, he said, withdrawing his arm. No disappointment colors his tone, not even ever even warm. Gently he beckoned me toward the path he approached from. The wind swirled around us as we walked, my footsteps following the imprint of a boot in the falling snow. His form from behind is radiant, almost aglow with the silver moonlight. The strand of his hair shimmered as he walked. His cape, snow white, trailed behind him like a shroud. He stopped every now and again to check if I'm still following. Each time he gave me a nod, smile, and encouragement. Every stare from that deep green eye makes my heart thud in my chest. I grip my sharp point tightly within my pocket. The motion is not suspicious. It is a cold night, a cold I so rarely feel, soaking through the thin wool of my cape and shawl. How warm his cloak and fur look, yet never does the breath from his lips fog the night air. I'm not sure he breathed at all. I pull my wool tighter around my shoulders. It does not seem he will strike me yet. I must stay alert, ready for whatever he lured me to. May I ask your name? He says, after we had walked some steps from the clearing. I have worn names like they were ribbons in my hair, dozens of names in colored shapes. I give one away. To give one away would be a frivolous thing. But names, every fake one, creates familiarity, bonds. It'd be wiser to keep my heart closed. You may not. She makes a fair point, so let's stand strong. I mean, he is being kind, but the content of what's going on, we'll play it to where we're on edge. You may not. You may not, and neither will I ask yours. No, sir, two strangers sharing a fire for the night, then parting ways. I'd rather keep you a story in my heart, a tale I'll remember far, far beyond today, than something ordinary as, I don't know that one, or Arthur. Neither of those are my name. And who said we must part after this, or that we'll never meet again? There. If we do meet once more, it's fate. If fate spins itself, then I will ask your name. Would you not allow me to guess? Are you secretly a fairy who spins straw into gold, damsel? That's not fair, but I don't know what that is. I'm fairly certain if I were I'm fairly certain if I were not so guarded, I would blush. Thankfully, my cheeks are already numb from the cold. You sly, cunning thing. I'll give you 3 guesses, then, to divert us as we walk. But ever should you be correct, I'm afraid I have no fairy gold to reward you with. The knowledge alone would be pride enough, he said, his smile almost mischievously. He thinks for a moment. Is it Michelle? It is not. Am I close? I will not say, but a particular choice, an angel name. I thought you looked like one from a distance, a figure standing in the mist, one that couldn't be real. Only from a distance? Much more up close, she smiled, emerald eyes twinkling. She paused again to think. Could it be Ria? I think that's how you say it. I like that name too, but from an angel to a god. From an angel to a goddess. From an angel to a goddess, I know you for what? God, hold on. I got lost. From an angel to a goddess, I know you for what? Alright, hold on. Oh, hello. Hold on, we'll be right. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, that heavily distracted me. But not. Okay. From an angel to a goddess, I know you for what you are now, sir, a wicked flatterer. Am I wicked? Am I wicked? If I am only relaying the truth? Ooh, he's smooth. Oh, now stop. Oh, stop now. Your third guess. He goes silent. He goes silent again, casting a gaze to the night sky. Is your name Celine? Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, we can have a choice. So do we give him the benefit of the doubt, or do we play? No, I think we're gonna play this as. We're gonna play this as far as we can from getting to know this guy. We're gonna treat it as if he just merely a stranger, just offering a shelter for the night. So that's what we're gonna do. No, it is not. I am curious though. Why is that your final guess? Why was that your final guess? Kind of an odd question, but okay. No reason in particular. He says, eyes still fixed on the distance. Oh, excuse me. I wait, but he did not continue. It is not enough, but I need more. It is enough, but I need more. Show me what lies beneath your skin. Show me the beast that you are. Now that you've asked me, you've asked something of me, I say. I believe it is only fair I ask you a question in turn. But you didn't give me an answer, he replied lightly. I gave you an answer. Simply not the one you wished for. Very well, then ask away. Ask about his purpose here, ask about his clothes. Let's go right for the throat, and what is your purpose here? You say you're a traveler, but why here? Why these mountains, this forest? I often come to the mountain to hunt. I love the air here, the pristine wilderness. Oh, of course you would, you wild thing. But sir, your clothes are too fine for a mere huntman. You look fit to be, well, if not a prince, then a king, of a queen guard at least. The queen? There is no queen that ruled the lands, unless you speak of the Mist Queen. The Mist Queen, a figure shrouded in fog, in mystery like her name. Whispered around campfires and village squares, in somber tones, in drunken ones, in awe and revenant. But most often in fear. I've seen her night before, marching in the wilds. Their pyres burn on the hillside for days. Do you believe that she lived since the dawn of time? That she bathed in blood of men to keep her beauty? Not for a moment. I laugh. You speak as if you know her. Oh, we struck a curve. We struck a nerve. A curve. We struck a nerve. Will you be afraid if I did? If I am a servant to the queen? I mean, going off of what she said, it's mainly in fear. So let's continue on going down that route. That fear. Yes. They say she doesn't harm the innocent, but can Mistwalker be trusted? They are not our kind. They're undead. The centuries they've walked upon the earth, surely it changes them and their appetites. Not to mention the tale of her pale consort. You believe they are not human. You would be correct. But you have nothing to fear, damsel. Her castle lies far, far from the mountains. She will not find us here. Sweet lies from a sweeter tongue. In any case, there is something gentle about you. I cannot think to place you among her scorn of blood-soaked nights. He looked at me for a long time. I wondered if I have said too much. You are a strange girl, a strange, sweet girl. A girl? I am well past 20 summers. But I do not ask how many gentle. But do not ask how many, gentle hunter. I shall not. Have you a family then? I do. I did, though I was a stranger to them at first. They welcomed me into their home and they became like family to me. I loved them very much. But though they are gone now, he gave me a look of sympathy. I'm so sorry. I am like you. I once had a wife and son, but plague took them from me. I am sorry for your loss. I consider what to say next. Asking about the past, asking about his family. Family is too personal. Let's go with past. Have you always been a hunter? No. In fact, for most of my life, I hated the thought of harming anything, be it man or animal. My tale is truly a dull one, damsel. We have nothing but time. I wait for him to continue as we walk. My father was a knight at arms, but he died without land or fortune. I was very young, and so my mother was left to raise me alone in a humble countryside town. I knew from a very early age I didn't want the marital life like my father, so I apprenticed to a healer, then studied medicine as a young man. Eventually, I returned to the small town, met and married a shepherdess, the loveliest smile in the world, and the loveliest smile in the world. I spent my day treating coughs and fevers, making pollutant, and mending wounds. Until the plague, I finished. He was silent for some time. It was horrible, cruel thing to call it a sickness. Would it be called an ocean? To be called an ocean and be a pool. It did not spare any of its victims. It turned healing, smiley folk into dying husk within days. Healthy, smiley folk into dying husk within days. I tried to save them. You did all you could. I can't imagine how awful it must have been. I lost myself for a time. After that, I found I could not return to the healing arts. I could not mend another bone, touch another skin without feeling the rotting beneath my fingertips. That's terrible. I'm sorry. Even the wind is silent if we walk. The crunching of our footsteps is the only sound of the night in the night. It was a relief when he turned the conversation away. I have spoken enough unpleasant matters. Tell me something about you. What do you enjoy? I enjoy singing. I am fond of needlework. Well, I did sing, so I enjoy singing. I love songs. When I sing, I never truly feel alone. And you have a talent for it, indeed. He looks up and about to speak, but hesitates. Are you often lonely? I'm quite used to it. Solitude is like an old friend to me now. Sometimes I wonder. It is better to be alone or spend your life with someone you cannot give your heart to. Both of those sound lonely. A wise man would seek a third route. But what if you had no other option? What if fate had tied you together like roots intertwined? I would spend my days in solitude. I would learn to grow beside them. Ooh. I would learn to grow beside them. Yeah, I like that. I cannot imagine running away from solitude forever. I would think I think it's just as lonely for the other person. Would you abandon them, leave them to their burdens, not even try to overcome the fate that you shared? Forgive me, I burden us with heavy topics again. But I thank you for your insights. Of course, gentle hunter. I searched my mind for another question, another distraction, when suddenly a howl, long and low, cut through the night. Wolves. Without thinking, I stepped closer to him, only realizing what I've done when he reached out and took hold of my hand. He pulled me close toward him, throwing a cloak over my shoulders. and he held my arm. His hold on my arm is firm but not tight. Stay close to me. This will match your scent, he said, pulling the cloak tighter around us. His voice is soft and melodious. I know that word, I just can't say it right now. The song of a shepherd coaxing a lamb from the maw of the beast to another. This fear I feel isn't mine. It's not mine. It runs beneath my skin like a rapid coursing river. My mind cannot quell the instinct of a living heart, but I must overcome it. I keep alert for any sudden movement from him, but he makes none. It is alright to be frightened, it is only natural. But you won't come to any harm, I promise. The same way a mouse is safe from a strike when the eagle is near. We stayed that way, standing still in the shadows of the pines as they howled echoes through the night, billowing on the wind. I keep alert for yellow eyes peering into darkness, but none appear. Perhaps the wolves too sense him and know better than to strike. Out of instinct, I feel myself start to hum, a habit I never grew from, even though I no longer needed to calm my resting heart. I wish the pounding in my chest would still and turn to stone within the cage. Go on, he said, gently, coaxing. Sing, let your worry wash away. I take a deep breath, and then I sing. Misty eye, her eyes were bright. Her hands were misty too. Her skin was pale and white as milk. Dark hair all wet with dew. Her growth was not made of silk. The willow branch and yawned. By the river bend, how still she stood, as pale shadow bloomed. How black the night save silvery light of distant star and moon. By the time I finished the verse, the house had stopped. The only voice on the wind is a whisper of the thin branches whistling through the woods. I quickly let go of his hand. Too close, not yet, not here. It's not far ahead now. We can walk the rest of the way. Can you walk the rest of the way? I'm fine. Onward. I follow as he leads us through the trees. Lead me through the trees. A cottage comes into view as we turn the bend, almost as if conjured from the night, from the mist itself. It is a small, quaint little thing, a lonely, strange thing to see, placed there like it had been plucked from a fairy story. I don't know if I'm reading that word right. Probably not. Its wooden walls are aged but sturdy. Its sloping roof coated in snow and fresh snow. But it should be a home of a living, breathing woodman, not a creature of the night. I had never guessed you would hide yourself in a place like this. It's beautiful, I say. It's the only place in the world I feel truly safe. Its heavy door creaks open and he leads me inside. The cottage is small, with a short square square windows and low walls, but appears to be well kept, a solitary home. Strings of dried herb and food, mint, horsetail, apples, hang from the ceiling. A table and stool sit in the center, stacked with clay pots and metal bowls. A stone hearth covered one wall, a narrow bed lined with fur against the others. Sit against the other. A bookshelf filled with dozens or so of worn tomes stand proudly in the corner, even if it teeters, even in the corner, even as it teetered beneath, jarred of more herb and flowers. The smell of incense, sweet and handy, filled my nose as the light of the kindling on the hearth. As he lighted the kindling on the hearth, the ember cast his skin aglow. The several curls and plaited features painted slowly in warm light. He unfastened a long snow-white cloak and tossed it onto the stool. Carefully, slowly, I slipped my hand free of my sheepskin glove. I felt his gaze, his great eye watching me. I unraveled my shawl from around my pale throat. My fingers still numb from the cold, fumbled with the clasp on my cape. May I? He asked, stepping toward me. I nodded, shaking. His hands, even gloved, are deft, swift, a certain hand. They freed my shoulders of the deep red wool, set the fabric aside on the narrow bed. His gloved hand lingered near my collar. I don't move an inch, and I scarcely breathed. Show me your true self. Show me what you are. He brushed my cheeks and with a whispered touch, like he is afraid to hold me. Like I am a statue that could crumble beneath his fingers. May I? He asked again, barely audible. Yes, I whispered back. He brushed a lock of my dark hair behind my ear, then gently, slowly bring my lips, or his lip to my skin. They are so soft. His touch is like snow that landed on my face, carried by the winter wind. Cold but light, feather-like on my cheek, gentle, far too gentle. I don't want this delicate tenderness from him. I am not a fragile thing. I fold my hand around his neck, feel the downy softness of his hair as I slip my finger through its ashen strands. He wrapped me in his arms, hold me tight, kisses kisses my hair, trails his lip down my neck. I shiver, I tremble against. Good, how are you? As a gloved hand runs through my tresses, down my spine, filling the laces of my. Some of the words I don't know how to read them. My blood lice. He pushed me gently onto the furs, turned me onto my side, and his hand slowly brings it down. It was getting too. Found you. Oh, he turned. He said, pulling a wooden stake from my petticoat. I yelped, struggled to break free of a grip, as he held me effortlessly and I thrashed atop of the furs. I cried. He pulled a long ribbon from my hair and with it bind my rib behind me. I squirm and twist until I'm facing him. A beam from the light casts his face in cold, ashen moonlight as I watch him toss the useless piece of wood into the hearth. Ooh, so he's a vampire? Shattered from the roaring flame flickered over his pallid features as the wood blackens and burns. There is no hunger in that deep green eye, no warmth, no desire, only white, cold fury. I believe it's my turn to ask, he says softly, bending toward my ear. What exactly are you doing in the woods, damsel? I told you I was lost. You did not. A lost girl does not sing like a songbird. What exactly were you hoping to find? Who are you, truly? I'm just a girl from the mountain. What is the name of your village then? What year were you born? I know you're not as innocent as you look, my dear. I'll ask you one more time. Who are you? Oh. Okay, so we can't do that one. That's in the full version, so. You seem to have a good idea of who I am. You couldn't bring yourself to lie after all that. Ah! So you couldn't bring yourself to lie after all that. Honesty is a virtue, but how strange. You never care about being righteous. No, perhaps you just can't refuse that face, those eyes. Look at them. Look how he loathes you. Yet you still act like a foolish, lovesick girl. Some queen you are. It seemed like you have a good idea who I am, dear. He gritted teeth at the word. Ashen Hunter. What kind of servant would I be otherwise, my queen? He said with a short, bitter laugh. No, Now, do you care to tell me what on earth you are doing out here? What you're doing here? My dear prince, I could ask you the same of you. Whatever you are doing alone in the middle of the wilderness, away from my castle, inviting a pretty young thing to your bed, no less. I didn't expect him to flinch at my words. The anger and pain that flashed through his face almost made me regret them. You hardly count as a maiden, sweetheart, he said sharply. And when you did have that right to criticize, any right to criticize me, I never said a word about the scorn of bloody heart you left in your wake. Now, that is not what this is about. Then what is it about? Did you follow me? Did you think you could have your way with me if you stitched yourself a pretty new face? I did no such thing. I know your victims have to die before you sow them, before you're so into them. Did you murder an innocent girl for the pretty plan? What? That final line makes my borrowed blood boil beneath my skin. How dare you, Gabriel? Have I ever been so callous and unmerciful? Have I ever treated humans like my playthings? The girl was dead when I found her. He laughed. It is a short, dry, hollow sound, like the winter wind knocking against the walls. You haven't changed at all. A plaything? Is that not how you treat her now, wearing her corpse like a summer gown? I could try to calm the iron that pounds through my veins, the anger that courses with it. But I do not. I cannot. I have to use the heart. Unstilled. Unstill is to have thought and feeling ring through every beat. I let my long buried rage, my pain bleed through every vein in my being. Aren't you curious how she died, my loyal hunter? I asked, mirroring his bitter mocking tone. Why should I be? She was killed, I seethed, by a beast wearing the skin of a man, one of our kind. His expression freezes. She is not the first. Countless maidens have gone missing from the mountains, turning up dead, drained, and cold. Colder than your eyes are now. And now, who should I find here but you? You think I did this? Do you think I killed them? Have you lost your mind? Why would you hide yourself in the wilderness? Why would you disappear for a month? Why wouldn't you tell me where you gone? Where you gone? He got quiet again, staring at me with a deadly gaze. His next words are nearly a whisper, but if force had weight, his word would be heavier than stone. How dare you, Celine? How long have you known me? How many centuries have I followed you loyally? I never forced you to serve me. I did not beg you to follow me. I always gave you a choice. You didn't give me a choice when you turned me into this, he hisses, motioning him to himself as he pats his hair from face in a violent gesture. I look away. I cannot stare back at those eyes. He's right after all. After all this time, you still despise me. I don't despise you. I despise myself for believing that you trusted me. I do not reply. I twist helplessly on the furs, still shaking, cursing my weakness, cursing the blood flush beneath my skin, warm and flowing, a despicably human. What was I thinking? I thought I had prepared myself. Well, I am the Mist Queen, a woman who had walked the earth for millennia, wearing many faces as the moon. It should be child's play to appear to him an innocent maiden, test his loyalty, his intentions, discern his innocence or his guilt. And then, should I have found him fallen from grace? Then I would fulfill the promise I made to each and every one of my faithful vessels, should ever their hunger overweight their humanity. Yet, with him, could I fulfill the oath I made so long ago? When I brought him back from the death, ash cold in my arms, even knowing that he could now be a monster, changed from loyal knight I knew when I looked at him now. I could not see anything but the face of a kind young doctor I met in the sleepy town by the woods. The face of the man I loved a lifetime ago. Perhaps the Mist Queen could still her undead heart cast aside her feelings. But foolishly, I'd forgotten one thing. When I donned this skin, flesh weighs down the spirit. Memories housed in a foreign mind might as well be half-remembered dreams. I do not feel like a monarch, a queen, because at that moment I am not. Now I am a girl of barely 20 summers, trapped with a man glaring death at her, though his face is that of an angel, and his voice is honey sweet, haunts her dreams. Just being in his presence fills me, with nothing but longing. How could I not hunger so desperately for a touch? How could I not wonder at the thoughts behind the mask of his eyes, if there was still a place for me inside his unbeating heart? My heartbeat thumps so loudly in my ears as we watch each other in silence. Finally, he takes his long cloak from the stool, fastened around his shoulder, and moves to the door, breaking it open as the night air creeps in. It trundles inside the cavern. Where are you going? I shift, trying weakly to stand up. To see if what you said is true. Liar. I know it when you avoid my gaze when you speak. You can't bear to be near me. You're leaving now? I'll return. He pauses at the doorframe, silhouetted against the snow, and inhales sharply. Stay put. There's still much I would ask you I want you cooled your head. Wait. He slams the door with a loud rattle. I do not hear his footsteps peer into the cold, masked by the winter wind. Once I've cooled my head with your bitter sigh, Gabriel, you need as much as I do to calm yourself. I take a deep breath, another, trying to push the thoughts from my mind. I fight the tears threatening to spill out from the helpless girl's eyes, my eyes. I grit my teeth and finally push myself upright. My hands are bound tightly behind me, but my legs are free, leaving me to walk about the cabin. It's easier to breathe without him near me, easier to think. I look at my surroundings. The fire still burns, offering precious warmth. Outside, the short square window of panes and birches bow in the wind. The night sky is still swirled with snow. I think of the warmth of the yellow eyes and howls filling the shadows. I will not get far if I try to leave, if I could even break myself free. Perhaps I could find something here. Perhaps there was evidence in his safe in his place. Oh shit. Okay. Hold on. I have a bloody nose. Be right back. Sorry about that. I think we're good. It's been a long time since I had a bloody nose. It didn't last very long, which is good. Okay. Holy shit. Oh shit. What? I didn't mean to click. I had yet to find my proof. After all, and I would not hurt without him. I would not hurt him without it. I could not. I know that in my heart now. Yet I cannot stop the sudden coursing anger that burns beneath my cheeks. He bound me and left me here. Why should I believe he should return? Why should I risk letting him out of my sight? You can't run from me, Gabriel. Let's try to break free. My knife is still hidden within my skirt, but concealed far too well without my hand free. I cannot hope to withdraw it. I scanned the road for something else I could cut through my binding with. My eyes fall on the hearth, leaning on the stone that juts out from the jagged edge. I have a little way of options. I can only hope it's sharp enough to free myself with. What feels like hours passed as I scrape my binding against the stone. My hand and wrist ache painfully all the while. When did I last feel pain like this? The throbbing in my wrist brings a dim memory to my mind. Another time when I was bound centuries ago. Now, this time there was no time to loosen my binding then, to free myself from the prior set of light. Oh. So I told my knight. Cut off my hands. I remember that fear. Like a wolf that gnawed off its own paw caught in the snare. I waited in agony. I waited for agony to come, the bite of steel to sever my flesh. But I barely felt a thing I barely felt a thing at all as he struck me with 2 clean strokes of his sword. As if he was only trimming locks of my hair. I remember afterwards how he brought iron to my lips and bade me drink. How only then did the pain come, searing through my flesh as my bones and fingers and skin knitted themselves anew. He cradled my head against his chest as I cried. How he held me so tightly. It only muffled to my screams from my captured ears. How I clung to him so desperately with my new formed fingers, unwilling to let go. If it was one thing, if it was one of those times he held me throughout the centuries on his own accord, but it wasn't enough. I had just fed on iron. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't think of anything in the moment but the pain. Not just the agony burning in my flesh, but my heart. Kiss me. I half whispered, half cried against his ear. Kiss me or I'll scream. You'll kill us both. I'd rather die than live another day like this. Another day at your side with your contempt, your cold gaze. He shut his lip before I could utter another word. Oh. He kissed me so deeply it felt like he wanted to smother me. I don't know if I hated it more, what I hated more, him, myself, or how desperately I wanted him. How easily I could fool myself into believing he wasn't silencing my screams, that he wanted me to. But his touch was so cold. His taste was so bitter yet sweet, his lips so soft yet icy, his fangs like sharpened steel against my tongue. I shake myself and curse. Still, his sword, he always carried one when he traveled. He did not have one with him in the woods. Where is it? I gave up on the hearthstone and let my aching hand rest before I looked around the room for a hint of scabbard or a hilt. I searched the cabin awkwardly, shifting through piles of fabric and clothes and furs, with my knees tapping along the wood, my boots in search of hiding hatches. In the end, I find it laying simply beneath the bed. I finesse it out awkwardly and relay quickly that I can't withdraw it from its scabbard, the metal locked firmly in its sheath. I spend a solid minute cursing the spirits, my luck, and my damned, wretched, unfathomable oath of a consort. Then I push the weapon back into the shadows, consoling myself with the fact that I at least know where it is. But still, of course, I cannot harm a Mistwalker. I stand up, only to collapse back onto the bed. The hours in the woods and the walks through the cold, the heated words have all exhausted this weak and an unfamiliar body. I need a moment's rest before I resume my escape. I curse the iron, warm and flowing, running through my veins. The fire still burned within the hearth, the furs are so soft, I could only close my eye for a moment. I stand in a long, empty hallway. Darkness is all around me, blacker than the night without the moon. A polished mirror stands in a gilded frame. I step toward it, my footfall making no sound. My face stared back at me. ashen and pale, framed by dull dark hair like a dim moon on a foggy night. My eyes are slate, cold, gray, lifeless. I close them. When I open them again, she'd gone. A new face stared back at me. A young woman with glossy black locks, bright lipstick, lips, bright red lips, and eyes that twinkled like jewels. Like what you see, my queen? Wanna rip off and wear it yourself? She asked, mouth twisted in a wicked smile. Oh, hello. No. I stepped back from the mirror, but her voice still rings, growing louder. Do you remember me, Celine? She asked. Do you remember the name of the corpse you stole from my grieving parents? Maya? I stammered. I had no choice. Oh man, god dang it, sorry about that. Do you remember my name, Celine? Do you remember the name you borrowed when you stole my skin? Wore my flesh, played house with my corpse. Of course I remember. Your name was... Can write it. Bev. What was his name? God. An eternal dreamer. It fit him. He laughed. He laughed. Gently petting the sleeping lamb. Autumn, 336 years ago. I was lucky, beyond lucky, when I found this body. This poor woman, of course, was not. She slipped and broke her neck, falling from a muddy trail in the hills. A foolish risk to take, all for a helpless lamb. I could have drenched her body dry, and oh, I was tempted. I was ravenous that day when I found her, full to the bursting with iron. But I tempted my hunger. I stitched her back up very, very carefully until she looked good as new. She never looked so much as taking a tumble. While I saved the crescent moon carved beneath the crook of her collar like an old faded scar. Hungrier than ever when with my brand new skin, I devoured the lamb. Ooh. Then I walked through the hills, through the woods to her, my home. With her flock to myself, I would not go hungry for quite some time. She was an eccentric one, to say the least, this girl, solitary and aloof. Solitary and aloof. She kept to herself, only her prize sheep at company. The townfolk whispered unkind things about her. She showed them little interest in turn. Who would notice that? Who would notice if her mind and heart had turned? Her animals did at first, but they quickly learned to obey their new master. I just roamed for a very, very long time. Now to suddenly spend my day in a quiet countryside town, tending fluffy, fat white sheep as the days and seasons pass me by. Such idleness, like in Arcadia, pure, wonderful, calm. Don't know. My new form wasn't terrible to look at either. It was so strange to see her face staring back at me in the creek surface, her large, dark eyes, round and freckled cheeks. Her eyes were lovely, bright red with flames, like fleeting leaves of autumn before the winter, and covered the ground in muddy, dying browns. Spring and autumn, I've always loved the transitionary seasons. Cold but bright, and unlike my kind, fleeting. Winter, then spring, then summer, all that passed when he arrived. The grain had just begun to turn gold, copper, and ruby. The nights bleed longer into the days, sunsets and sunrises streaking through the sky like open wounds. Like many creatures that stalk through the waxing cold, I was hungry for human blood. I thought he was a traveler, and I'd never seen his face before. I would remember it if I had. He stepped so lightly I barely heard them sound through the forest trail. But I could hear his voice clear as a bell, humming a small song to himself. I listened. I watched him through the trees. He wore plain clothes, mended and remended with clumsy stitches. He was tall, his strides were long. His hair was too long and fell loose behind his back in silvery strands, and its silver strand framed his brow. How it shone in the evening sun, whiter than the fleece of the lamb. I waited as he drew near. And then I screamed. I didn't expect to slip and gently hurt myself. I didn't expect to need his help. It was your fault for distracting me, I said more and more. I said more to myself than him. I'd kick, I'd kick you if it weren't for the bloody sprain. I can't advise that, damsel. You'll hurt yourself again. He stopped as I leaned against him and muttered something intangible. Do you need to rest? He asked softly, his voice tinging with concern. You've only met me. Why do you care? Carry me back. I can't walk anymore. I didn't expect him to literally sweep me off my feet. I was joking. This is fine, he said, as lightly as my body appeared, apparently weighed. You're like a feather. Oh. Just hurry back before it gets too dark. It'll be alright. The moon is full tonight. See? The trees in the path ahead cleared their branches from the sky. As he walks, I look up and see her full, bright face shining down on me. So she is, I murmured. The lamb is much more weary than I am, forced to walk the long trail on its own legs, and falls fast asleep at its mother's side. What's his name? The stranger asked. No longer a stranger asked. Who? This little one, whom you went through so much trouble for. He replied, monitoring the slumbering lamb. I looked up at the sky, at the moon, at the stars, and said the first thing that comes to mind. Edmund? Edmund? The eternal dreamer. It fit him. He laughed, gently petting the soft fleece. There is something beautiful about the sound of his laughter as it leaves his lips. It reminds me of my notes of lovely tune of a song I once heard in a time and place far, far from these sleepy woods. Perhaps it's the blood that flowed within me, a fatigue of the human frame. Night was never the dominant of the living. That played with my senses. It feels for a moment like I'm standing inside a deep, pleasant dream. Sneeplestein, my cat's meowing. The wood gently caressed his strands. The wind gently caressed a strand of his long silver hair, silver, as the moon above us, as he turned to me and looks of embarrassment. How silly of me. I asked for the young lad's name before yours, damsel. My name is Gabriel, he said warmly. And you are? The day grew colder and darker. Autumn bled into winter. A year older beneath breathed its last. An old year breathed its last. A new morn sprang from the ashes of the night as the night grew shorter. My body did not change. But the world around me did. The day grew warmer as the earth bloomed into spring and then finally summer. Like the seasons, my aloofness at his presence gradually turned to accept. And then, before I knew it, fondness. Soon after, he was in my thoughts every night. Instead of nightmares, a century of memories that tormented me in my sleep, I saw his face, smiling. I heard his voice, clearly and lightning soothing me with gentle song. He'd always smile at me, even when even when I stared past him, stone-faced, ignorant, disinterested. But now, when I smiled back, the way his eyes would shine and brighten his entire face. I felt that all people in the world, I felt that of all people in the world, I was the only one you looked at that way. Then the day came when he knelt before me on one knee. I can't marry you, I tell him, stealing my voice. I turn my back so I cannot see his face. Won't you tell me why? He asked quietly, with tenderness, without hurt. Yet this body will wither soon, when the blood of my flock run dry, and the villagers find out what I am. Because to be at your side heighten the risk of hundredfold. Because I am no longer the living. Though my cheeks grow red and my heart flutters against my will when I look at you. When I hear you speak these words, they make me forget what I am, make me wish for what I must never desire. I can't give you children. I know, but I'm no lord or prince. I don't need you to bear flesh and blood. Besides, I know nothing can replace the lamb that your little ones. I wish I could tell him that I tend them so tenderly, because they are my lifeblood. Please don't stop bleeding again. I hardly have the means to keep a hearth at home. You've seen the way I live. But I can stitch and sew, but you can stitch and sew like no one I've seen. And I'm a half-decent cook at the very least. If only you weren't so sweet. I still cannot. Do you dislike me? No, spirits, if you don't feel the same for me, then I'll leave your sight once and for all. You fool. I love you more than you can ever imagine. I love you more than the moon loves her fairy stars, more than anything and everything. I've ever held dear in the long centuries I've walked through the mist and earth. I want so much to hold you and never let you go. Then don't torture me. Please say yes. Please make me the happiest man in the world. If only I were myself, my true self, could I have refused you, but I would not. At that moment I wore and was a foolish young woman who loved you. That with guilt in the back of my mind and the far corners of my heart in the days that followed. Guilt, a foolish and human emotion. But I was so happy. I couldn't bury it beneath the flood of joy that flowed through me, that poured from my heart like a fountain. It seeped back slowly, a poison in my vein on the eve we were wed. I knew to take your hand, to walk the path, but to take a step I couldn't turn back. That perhaps the gods and their icons if ever they lived, would not forgive. Yet I was steeped so much in sin and blood and cruelty ahead. I had taken so much, stolen so much, and continue my existence. But I did not merely wish to simply exist any longer. You made me wish for the first time since I had truly been alive to live. Perhaps he sent that hesitation, the feeble, silent cry of my conscience. We don't have to. We should wait if you're not ready. Why do you say words only make me grow hungrier? I want this. He shut his soft, sweet lips with mine. The body I wore then spoke my vow to you with both living and unliving. A body that would not mind to live with, to love with. Oops. But the heart that beat like a butterfly wings when you kiss me, trace the crooked moon beneath the collar. You slip me free from my laces of my wedding gown. It beat like my own. The skin that lightened like embers as you held me in your hand. Every inch it felt like my own. I loved him so much to stop. I hungered more for his touch than the sweet taste of his iron on my tongue. Though a name whispered into my ear was not mine, the tenderness that he spoke belonged to only me. What did it matter what shape I wore, what form his finger traced in a gentle arms embraced? Your arms were made only to hold me. Your eyes were made to only behold me. Your heart should only beat if it loved me. There, laying my head against its chest, lulled by the rhythm of its gentle heart, I thought of my body, my true body, lying cold beneath the earth. Ugh. I wish I could have filled this fragile thing that I now had in my hands. It would cling until death again parted me from him again, until the unaging undead form finally grew still. It would be a love that as fleeting as the red leaf flittering through the autumn wind. Perhaps it was cruel of me to do so. But I could be no less callous than the fate or time. Human could hold memory for a lifetime. After all, yet they move ever forward. Because they must. Because that is what it meant. That is what it means to walk alone among the living. Good point. He would live a long, storied life, and I would be a brief but cherished memory in his heart. Just as I would hold him forever in my immortal and unbeaten one. Go away. Or so I thought. That night, cuddled in his arms, I see the face of the girl whose skin I wear in my dreams, melting away into blood and bone. "333 years ago. Boy. I smile now at the village when I walk through town. I no longer hum to myself as I spin wool into thread and thread into cloth. I share my joy with birds and flowers, lambs and him. Like fabled Arcadia or fair my tranquil days pass by in peace. Yet sorrow does not temper joy. It only makes it grow sweeter by contrast. And sorrow do pass us. He loses a patient for the first time, a mother to childbed fever. Soon one of her sickly newborn twins followed her. How eaten him, my poor, sweet, gentle lamb. I consoled him that day as best I can. I have seen someone death been the cause of it at times. I do not know what words he needs, but I hold him tightly and let him hold me. Then at night I lull him to sleep, slip from our bed, and feed on iron still sweet. Mother and son buried together. Nobody knows that the corpses are lighter. Still it weighs on my beloved in the days that follow the images of the unbreathing babe. The weak weeping one left behind. And so against the last phrase stray of my better judgment, I tell him, let us take that child as our own. Oh. I sew a head of a small wooden doll, strunted the suit along the neck with a long red thread. It is a lamb. Its fleece is made of the softest wool I can spin. When I finish its head, I take a thick black thread and give it new eyes, adding the tiny white stitches to the twinkle in each one. Finally, I take another red thread for its mouth, stitch it a small sweet smile. With every stitch must be perfect. It must be perfect. I work slowly and deliberately. I am careful, ever so careful, not to prick myself. I never enjoyed the sight of iron escaping this flesh. So I yelp in surprise when I notice him behind me. Spirits! Why don't you make any noise when you walk? Did I startle you? He said sheepishly. I was just about to settle back in my chair to do my needlework when a loud wail had come from the room. And now you woke him. I rushed toward the wooden cradle of our chamber, lift the crying infant into my arms, and rock him gently, saying, "Oh, hush, my love, my little lamb. Mama is here? Mama's here? Mama's here?" Holding him in my arms, I start to sing. Come to rest in my embrace. Let the moon hold you safe. Let her light and her gaze and her grace. Should the clouds shroud your way, or the mist hide her ashen face, I shall guide you home in her place. The babe falls fast asleep before I finish the last verse of the song. I set him down in the blanket and sigh, closing my eyes for a moment. I stand, my beloved rests his head on my shoulder and hold me from behind. Nestled in his arms, I lean back. I let him lead me back to the seat in front of the hearth. It feels so warm and blissful to be cradled myself. My love planted a kiss on my head, on my red hair before he settles beside me. Forgive me, he whispers. I just wanted to watch you work. You're forgiven, this time. But don't you dare sneak up on a woman with a needle again. He laughs very quietly. It sounds sweeter than a lawyer's tune, a robin's song. I shall not. I finish stitching the doll if we sit in each other's company. I thought I was daft at stitching wounds, he whispered, but I've never seen anyone as skilled with needle as you. One of my many talents. Perhaps you could learn a thing or two from me. Humble as always, my darling. He laughed softly. I wish I could bottle that sound and listen to it for eternity. Once I finally finished When I am finally satisfied with my work, I check back over the babe, holding the doll in my hands. He is still sleeping soundly. You have the magic touch, my darling. He's yet to fall asleep so quickly when I sing to him. I smile. That's not true, my love. Who would dare slumber when you sing? The baby boy before me is so warm and small. He must dream so gently. His small chest rises and falls. His cheeks are pink and round. His short curls soft laid down. A happy coincidence. That his hair is as red as mine. I'd almost forgotten what my own dark locks look like. I wouldn't miss this flame-colored hair. It's a silly thing to treasure, perhaps among so many things more precious that I would lose. But I would always have that fondness for it now. As I watched him, the fullness of my heart unravels into something cold, gnawing, and dark. I let myself forget for a moment and believe that he could truly be mine. Mine to nurture, to love, to care for, to watch over as he grew. My chest twists like a spike that had been driven through it. I know it's wicked of me. Leaving him a widower is cruel enough, but now a boy without a mother. Or at least it wouldn't be alone without me, I think. As my beloved nestled my cheeks, wrapped his arm around me. I closed my eyes. Even if it is for the briefest moment, for the first time since. No, even before I drew my last breath of my true self, I have a family. Just for a moment, they are mine, only mine. Whoops. Hitting stuff and scared me. I rest in their warmth, my beloved arms around my waist, my son sleeping softly before me for just a little while longer. Finally, reluctantly, I break free. Watch out for him. While I run to the market, I whisper, carefully soothing over my little one's blankets. Are you sure? I don't mind. I need some fresh air. I slip outside, but not toward the market square. An emptiness within me howled like an abyss, waiting to be fed. I am afraid if I would devour both you and the child, if I gave into that hunger. 331 years ago. He injured his back in a careless accident while trying to repair an old fence. He did it so against my protest. I just wanted to make sure nothing would get our darling lambs, he'd said. His word twisted like a knife in my guts. How could I tell him the true beast that devoured them stand right before you, her guilty eyes beaming with tears? As I helped him wash that evening, he laughed and tried to reassure me, winking sharply as he did. This is nothing to worry about, my love. I'm simply getting old. Look at my white hair. Oh, stop it. Just be careful, please. So I looked down in shame and see our reflection staring back at us in the water basin. He had only just turned 9 and 20. The same year, the same age that once long ago my true body met its end. My beloved wore the age beautifully, the glow of youth still alive in his skin, tempted by his calm and graceful manner. But the face that I wore looks not a day over 19. I have not changed as the year passes by. I will not change. The unkindly whispered about me have ceased completely. Some gossiped that I was a witch or the creature of the mist. That I would cast a glamour over myself and feed my husband poison to capture his heart. Then I cursed a woman to death to steal her bright-eyed babe for myself. Why would a man like him ever take her for a wife, they say? If she were a fairy, I don't know if that's fairy, but it looks like it. She picked a prettier face to wear. Her eyes are like coal. How true. They are dullfully lifeless. They were foolish and petty, but more right than they knew. And just perhaps there was more truth to their cruel words than I'd first thought. What if it was not death that would part me from him? What if I cast him aside? My beloved was like the sun, radiant, giving warmth to all he touched, ever ready with a bright smile or kind words. Laughter and smile were like breathing to him. It was hard to pull a smile or a song from my mouth in contrast. But was that a fault of mine? Was that any fault of mine? If he smiled so easily, does that mean the one he gave me is less precious, less meaningless, less special? Why should you smile for anyone but me? Why should you sing for anyone but me? You're at the widow's house often, I say, seeing him packing his doctor bag and heading out the door. The collar of his shirt, the one I mended for him, still crooked on his neck, stitched crooked about his neck. I straightened it for him, wondering briefly if my body would have the strength to strangle him if I needed to. Her boy isn't doing well, he replies. His voice sounds so distant, mired with concern. Was he worried for the child or for her? My beloved was had given a beautiful eulogy when her partner passed, and oh, how prettily she cried. She had a lovelessness that not even her red eyes nor disheveled braids could lessen. He handed her his handkerchief, one that I had stitched for him, painstakingly, with bell-shaped flowers and green leaves, the one that matched his hair and eyes. How could something I gave you be so easily handed away? Ooh, jealousy flared. When I thought of her face, with her glossy locks and fair skin and bright eyes, who looked so lovely even when she wept, and her lovely young child clinging to her skirts. Her healthy child who ran and laughed like children should. I wanted to bleed the iron dry from both of them. Then I saw my pained face, stringy red locked on the creek's surface, with my son, still so small for his age, cried or fevered or would not eat. I wanted to tear my own skin, tear out my own skin. Were you only concerned in the doctor's sense of duty, or was there something else? Whatever do you mean, darling? Were you cheating on me? Whoa. Oh, I went back. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't realize I spoke my thoughts aloud. I didn't remember what I say, what I accused him of, what word I cried when I screamed at him. Only the misery I felt and the growing anguish written on his face. I wanted to hurt him. I wanted him to feel what I did, the hurt. To hurt like I did. It was only because I felt this pain. It was because of him I knew joy. But it was because of him I now suffered so much in my heart. Suffered from the knowledge that I would have to lose him. And now I couldn't utter a word to him, for he was human and I was not. He was glorious and joyfully alive, and I was only half living, one half of my heart above the ground and the other buried beneath the earth. He was alive, and I would not, and time would only tear him away from me. I would be gone, and he would replace me with someone more beautiful, more devoted, and a better mother, a happier wife. And then I would wither away in his memories, and nothing would remain of my love for him would be love. I could not bear the thought of anyone else at his side, any other person on earth receiving his brightest smile, his tender caress. The thought. Are you bleeding again? The thought of his hand encased in a glove knitted and glove knitted by another, figure intertwined around another's. He was mine, he belonged to me. Why couldn't he remain mine? Why did I have to let him go? Why did I have to go back to being alone? It was that when you decided to... I could not offer him the word of comfort. He could not offer me the word of comfort to comfort me because he didn't know how the depth of my anger, nor did he see the pain mirrored in his expression bring me satisfaction. Should I die? Should I? I think I told him I should die if you left me. I shall hurl myself off the cliffs. That is when he held me so tightly I thought I would burst. I beg of you, don't speak such words to me. If you die, I shall follow. If I lose you, I lose everything I have. Whatever harm may befall you, I can endure. But to see you or our child hurt, my soul cannot bear it. What a fool I become, I released. Foolish and jealous and flawed, almost as if I am if really were human. I was so tired, then I should have apologized. I simply collapsed onto the floor and cried. And then I promised him I would not speak the words again. He kissed my brow and stroked my hair, and then he swore to me in turn, I love you so much, Bev. I'll always love you, and you'll never leave my side, not until the day I die. That's enough talk of dying today, I said, my throat dry. I made you late, be on your way. He swept me back and kissed me until I'm out of breath before he does. Late that night, as I wait for him to return, the sheep in our pen, our son dozing on my lap, supper growing cold in the pot, I realized the gravity of what he'd said. If I die, I shall follow. If I lose you, I lose everything I have. I didn't know whether to be happy or afraid. I knew that soon I would have to die. I would have to leave this place. But I would have to leave him behind. Did you truly mean your words? His steps were so quiet I didn't hear him come in the front path until he swung open the gate. I rushed to meet him by the door. The devastation on his face stopped me in my tracks. I think I'm going to save it here. This is going on longer than I thought it would, and I'm losing my voice is my throat is getting raspy. And I need to make sure that I'm no longer bleeding to feel like it. So I'm gonna go and we'll finish this up another time. Maybe next week. Yes. I love the story. It's a lot longer than the other one. I want to continue it, but that's a lot of reading. A lot of words that I don't know how to read, but it's really good. So we'll do it some other time. But I'm going to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will talk to you guys in the next one.